Forget what you thought you knew about Lexus. Because today, we're not talking about smooth rides, quiet cabins, or your uncle's retirement car. We're talking about a legit JDM sleeper. A luxury sedan that hides one of Toyota's most legendary engines under the hood, ready to be unleashed. This is the early 2000s Lexus GS300, the car that brought together comfort class and silent killer instincts. If you've ever dreamed of owning a Supra, but your bank account said Civic, then listen up. Because the GS300 might be your ticket to having both power and prestige at a price that won't crush your wallet. Stick around because we're diving deep into why this overlooked sedan deserves your respect and maybe a spot in your driveway. In the early 2000s, Lexus was on a mission. They weren't just trying to compete with Mercedes or BMW, they were trying to outclass them. The GS lineup was proof of that. Built on Toyota's rock-solid engineering foundation and wrapped in high-end luxury, the GS300 was the middle child of the GS family. Not as aggressive as the GS430 V8, but not as tame as an ES either. The design clean, sharp, and a little aggressive. That sleek four-door body didn't scream performance. But that was the point. The GS300 was designed to fly under the radar. A car that your mom would approve of until you start turning wrenches on it. The GS was built on Toyota's Aristo platform, yes, the same Aristo that was sold in Japan with a twin-turbo 2JZ GTE. More on that in a second. This wasn't just luxury for luxury's sake. This was Toyota's attempt to redefine the sports sedan, a car that could keep up with a 5 Series on the Autobahn and still give you massaging seats and a quiet ride home. Underneath that polished exterior, the GS300 had some serious brains. Toyota didn't just slap a badge on the hood and call it a day. The suspension setup, independent double wishbone front and rear. Translation, excellent handling without sacrificing ride comfort. The build quality, tank-like. The GS300 was over-engineered in the best way possible. Solid door thunks, quiet cabin, and materials that aged way better than you'd expect from a 20-year-old car. Leather, real wood climate control that actually still works. This thing was built to last. Then there's the tech. For the early 2000s, the GS300 came with available VSC vehicle stability control, traction control, and optional navigation with a touchscreen in a time when most of us were still printing MapQuest directions. It had a 7-speaker premium sound system that still bumps, and the power-adjustable everything made it feel like a car twice its price. It wasn't just fancy, it was thoughtful. The GS300 made no compromises between comfort and capability. It felt smart, deliberate, and a little bit ahead of its time. All right, here's the meat of it. Under the hood of the early 2000s Lexus GS300 was a naturally aspirated 3.0L inline-6 known as the 2JZ GE. Yeah, that 2JZ, the same engine family found in the legendary MK4 Supra. Now, in the GS300, it didn't come with twin turbos, but don't let that fool you. The 2JZ GE is one of the most overbuilt engines of all time. In stock form, it made around 220 horsepower and 220 pound-foot of torque, paired to a 5-speed automatic. Sure, those numbers might not blow your mind in 2025, but here's what will. This engine is basically bulletproof. The internals are forged strong, the block is iron, and the aftermarket knows it like the back of its hand. You want boost? The 2JZ GE can take it. With a turbo kit, a standalone ECU, and some supporting mods, you can safely push about 400 or 500 horsepower without opening the engine. Some owners have taken it even further with full builds exceeding 700 horsepower, all while keeping Lexus luxury intact. This engine made the GS300 a ticking time bomb in the best way. Quiet at idle. Smooth on the freeway. But just one turbo kit away from becoming a street weapon. Ask most people what a GS300 is, and they'll probably think it's a boring mid-size sedan. That's your advantage. While the MK4 Supra skyrocketed in value and the IS300 became the new drift tax victim, the GS300 stayed in the shadows. Why? Because it looks like a grown-up car. It's the car you'd drive to a job interview, not a street race. But that's the magic. It's a true sleeper. It doesn't need wings or wide bodies to be fast. It's subtle, quiet, clean. And because of that, prices have stayed low, but not for long. As more people catch on to the 2JZ goldmine, these cars are starting to disappear. The clean, unmolested examples are getting rarer, and modified ones, even harder to find, that aren't beat to hell. You want to be the guy who bought one before they got cool, before the prices caught up. Because it's not if they go up, it's when. All right, let's talk about what really turns a car from nice to legendary in the eyes of JDM fans tuning. The Lexus GS300, it's a blank canvas with masterpiece potential. Why? Because under that luxurious hood, especially in the second gen from 1998 to 2005, sits the 2JZ GE. That's right. We're talking about the naturally aspirated sibling to the legendary 2JZ GTE found in the MK4 Supra. Different turbos, yes, but the bones are the same. Same block, same internals, same bulletproof engineering. That means if you want to go full beast mode, the aftermarket is already in your corner. Turbo kits everywhere. ECU tuners, pick your brand. Coilovers, wide body kits, custom grills, full exhaust setups. It's all out there. Want 400 horsepower easy. Want 600 absolutely. Want to embarrass Hellcats on the freeway while sitting on heated leather seats with jazz playing in the background. That's the GS300 life baby. The GS300 is like that quiet kid in class who shows up at the school race and wipes the floor with everyone while sipping a latte. Here's the truth. Real JDM heads already know what the GS300 is capable of. Go on any forum like Club Lexus, Supra forums, or JZX swap communities. You'll find builders, tuners, and engineers who've turned these cars into street legends. People are swapping in the 2JZ GTE, converting to manual using R154 or even V160 gearboxes, and pushing over 800 horsepower on the street. You'll also find GS300s popping up at drift events, especially with JZX-style builds. The chassis is surprisingly balanced, and when combined with coilovers and a 1.5-way LSD, it becomes a real RWD weapon. And if you want VIP vibes, slam it on bags, throw on some Weds Kranza wheels, custom wood grain, and boom. You've got a JDM luxury cruiser that turns heads at every show. You see, the GS300 doesn't just belong to one crowd. It's a rare blend of tuner car, VIP cruiser, daily driver, drift missile, highway monster. Pick your poison, it adapts. That's what makes it legendary. Now, let's talk money, because that's where the GS300 laughs at its competition. While MK4 Supra prices have gone absolutely insane, GS300s still sit comfortably in the $5,000 to $10,000 range, depending on condition and mileage. And even if you do a full turbo build, manual swap suspension, and aesthetic upgrades, you're still landing under the cost of a stock Supra. That's pure JDM performance, without the clout tax. Want 2JZ power check? Want Toyota reliability check? Want something that won't break the bank, can cruise to work, then blast down a canyon on the weekend? You've found it. Let's face it, some people still sleep on the GS300 because it wears a Lexus badge. They think luxury means soft, slow, and boring. But we know better. This car was engineered by Toyota during their golden era. It shares DNA with the Aristo. It rocks the 2JZ. It's RWD. It's got the suspension geometry, the engine bay space, the bulletproof parts, and the build quality to go toe-to-toe with anything from the same era. It's got the heart of a Supra, the comfort of a Benz, and the reliability of a Camry, all wrapped in a body that slips through traffic unnoticed until you floor it. That's what makes it dangerous. That's what makes it special. It's the sleeper your neighbor thinks is just another old luxury car, until it gaps him and his Mustang with zero tire chirp. The Lexus GS300 isn't just some old man's cruiser. It's a JDM icon in disguise. A luxury sedan with serious tuner potential, a drift chassis with daily drivability, and a sleeper that can go from stock to savage with the right setup. And right now, it's still affordable. But that won't last. Prices are creeping up, builders are catching on, and the clean ones, they're getting harder to find. So if you've ever dreamed of owning something different, something you can build into a monster and still flex at car meets, or take on a date without smelling like race fuel, like if you're into sleeper builds, comment below your favorite JDM sleeper or dream GS300 setup. Subscribe for more JDM legends and hidden gems. Catch you next time.